I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, AfterBuzzers! Thanks for joining us today. We are discussing World of Dance Season 4, Episode 1, Qualifiers 1. There is so much packed into this episode, but of course, I cannot be discussing this by myself. I'm joined with my lovely panelists. I have Tiege, who is a professional dancer, a former LA dancer. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, I'm so excited to be joining the panel this season. It looks like it's going to be a fun year. My name is Tiege, and I'm so excited to join the discussion. But yeah, I'm a professional dancer. I danced for the Lakers for 4 seasons, and now I'm just hanging right now. But I'm so excited to be joining the conversation.
Yes, and we also have Kay, who is also a former dancer and just overall lover of the show. So hello, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to talk about the new format and everything. I've been watching this show since season 1, so I'm super excited to get into it.
Yes, this is super exciting, and I think I'm excited to talk to you guys because this is a panel full of dancers, and I don't know there's a better panel to talk about World of Dance. So we have new audition processes, we have people who stood out to us and really wowed us with their technique, and we just have some overall just other elements thrown in. We have social media as a big factor this year. We have news and special segments towards the end of the episode, so definitely stick around for that. But before we jump into those things, T, please tell us your overall thoughts of this action-packed episode.
You know, I was really impressed. I was a little bit confused when I saw the new format and being in the warehouse and having no audience. I think one of the things I always loved about World of Dance is that they have that live audience element. So there's no like practice, become better, then go in front of an audience, which like we see in like So You Think You Can Dance and like some of the other dance competitions. So I did think that made the show special and stand out in that way. So I was interested to see why they did that. I'd like to do some research. You guys know Kristen Burt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. She's incredible. She's been moderating this panel for the past few seasons. She just got a new job, so she's doing some other stuff right now. But she probably has the inside scoop, so I'm going to text her or DM her and see if we can get details on that. But it's interesting because I did a little bit miss that audience. Did you guys miss the audience?
Yeah, for sure. Kay, were you kind of feeling this new setup, or did you prefer the ones that they've been doing previously?
Listen, I mean, I like some things about it. There were some ups and downs. For me, I teared up a couple of times, and that's what's important for me. Like the audience isn't number one. Like if you still can make me get choked up, and I feel like I'm saying her name, Adrianita and Jefferson, when they danced and she walked in and they saw Derek, and then she got to dance with Derek, her reaction was everything. It was so beautiful to see. So I watch for those type of moments. I like that, special human connection, especially when they really idolize a judge and they get to meet a judge and in this case, dance with a judge. That was beautiful. So, I mean, if you do lose a little bit of that energy right off the bat when you don't have the audience there, but I think that the episode more than made up for it with all the heart.
Yeah, and this is a perfect transition to dive into our first topic with this new setup, because I agree with you, Kay. I think there are elements of this that definitely add, but then with Tiege's point, I think it kind of takes away from things as well. We did see some intimate moments between some of the competitors and the judges that I think sometimes we don't get to see when there's this huge audience around, so that was just beautiful to see. But also, I don't know, Tiege, chime in on this. Do you think it kind of hinders the performers in any way that they don't get that live audience to kind of feed off of?
I think specifically you'll see it in like hip hop dances or even maybe sometimes solos, because there's like just all this space, and especially for hip hop, you kind of like you get amped on the crowd and also like you feed off of the crowd. I just feel like those type of performances can be elevated so much with having an audience there. So, and then you're probably way more nervous because then you're all of a sudden in front of the judges, and oh, by the way, it's quiet too. So it's like you and J-Lo are in a room together. It's like,
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I wonder how long they'll be in the quote unquote warehouse format.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the next episode will be in the warehouse as well. Just by looking at the previews, I think we'll still be there. And just seeing the judges change outfits, I think this was definitely taped over multiple days. And I think they just kind of went to the same place. But Kay, shoot, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought just talking about this new format.
No, you're fine. I think
one
moving
thing to
into
say-
a quarantine era, you got to get used to. You might not
I
have
know.
audiences like you used to. I mean,
Yes.
that's even when it comes to sports performances. So you got to get used to just like not constantly having feedback, maybe, and that will be really tough for some people. Sorry,
you're
Toree,
absolutely
go ahead.
right. No, for sure, and I think it was so interesting that this show launched in the middle of everything that's going on, because we talk about not having an audience, but this could very well be the reality for the next season if they're taping it now, or just any type of entertainment to come. Like, there might not be that audience there to hype you up, or that home territory audience to just kind of like pour into you. So it's definitely going to be interesting. One thing that I was going to ask is, the producers or whoever decided that this is a good idea wanted the judges to be there to give them that element of surprise. Kay, do you think that it would have went a lot smoother if they kind of just left it to the producers for this round and just kind of let them know? How did you feel about this surprise?
I'm not sure that it would have been smoother. I think once you see the judges, you're like, listen, I got to put my A game on. Like, this game time is popping. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was funny to see, especially with the first couple, they named their kid Derek. She was tearing up. They were like so obsessed by the judges, versus when the Williams fam came out, they were like, oh, okay, like some famous people. So it was Keita, when him and his partner, Kim and Bailey came out, they were like, oh my goodness, no way. So it was just funny how some people's reactions were like, oh, okay, judges are here. And then other people were like, freaking out. So I thought that was really interesting.
I just know there's some people out there that like, they don't do well with surprises. And I was wondering, I wonder if there's a competitor who's like completely hates surprises, would rather be very prepared and know what's going on, and is probably like losing it the minute that they walk through those doors and see that the judges are sitting there. I'm like, I will probably just like pee my pants a little bit. So I'm like, I like to be prepared. I love being prepared. But enough about the judges, because we see them all the time. To you guys, who stood out the most? Like, which pair, just which performance really stuck with you after this episode, T?
You know what? I really loved Bailey and Keita, who were the junior hip hop duo that had just kind of started dancing together like a few weeks ago. So perfectly, like, I'm sure I haven't done any stalking yet, but I'm sure they're very popular on social media. I'm sure like they fit the mold of being like very good for like internet and like being commercial and like bookable, but then they also fit the mold of like winning a competition because they're so talented. So I think that we're gonna see some really cool stuff from them this season, because they're just like if they're already dancing, and I think the judges had a few comments like, I can tell you haven't been dancing together forever. I'm like, I can't really. These kids are like insane. So I don't know. I was really impressed by them. Yeah. Same.
They were very in sync with each other to only be dancing and rehearsing for a couple of weeks with each other. Like you said, there was times where I couldn't even tell that they had just met, basically. But I will say that before they mentioned it, I was like, okay, like, they have all these followers, but I had actually seen a video of Junior before, like when he was a kid, circulating around social media, and he was even talented. Sorry, I'm like super tongue-tied today. But he was just super talented back then. So I was like, wow, just like seeing that growth from then to now was super nice to see. Kay, how did you feel about this group?
Yeah, specifically Bailey and Keita. Guys, Keita won So You Think You Can Dance a couple of years ago. Like, and he's only at this point 17. So I worked with him on a Slick Rick video last year, and I could tell that he hadn't danced a long time with Bailey, because he usually dances with a group of maybe 2 other guys, and they are totally in sync. And that compared to what I saw with Bailey, I could tell for me, because I'm a person that watches him and follows him. So, and he's not just, Instagram famous. Like, he won So You Think You Can Dance. Like, he's been on tour with a bunch of people, with Usher, and he's super young for all of that. So, I was really pulling for him. I love him, but he did not get my favorite, because I could tell that he wasn't in sync with Bailey. For me, the people I keep thinking about are Jefferson and Adrianita, the very first Colombian couple that dances that Cayeno, which is like that fast version of salsa. Girl, I mean, I watched with my daughter, who's also a dancer. We were screaming. We were screaming at our TV. We were like, what? And then like every time time they do something crazy and you couldn't even recover because then he will flip her some other kind of way. You're just like, what are they doing? Like, and it's not only tricks, like they really can dance and the rhythm is good and they're having fun and so enjoyable to watch. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a Latin ballroom person like Derek is, right? You know, he got out and was ready to dance. That was a really cute piece too when they danced with J-Lo and Derek. But it was just so entertaining to watch, and they're so joyful. They would probably be my favorite for now.
Yeah, I definitely think their stories paired with their talent, you were just kind of like, I'm rooting for you already, and they're only the first couple. But something that we kind of hinted on previously was just kind of like this rise of social media and social media dances. And for one family or pair, this didn't really work out in their favor, and that was the Williams family. What were your impressions of their routine and kind of them doing, I guess, TikTok dances for their audition piece? Steve, how did you feel about that?
You know, it's one of those things that I don't think translates well on a big stage or in a big space. I mean, you think about those like social media videos, it's like great if you're like right here and there's like three of us right here. But I feel like you can like totally get swallowed up if you have a lot of, you know, if you don't have those elements. They didn't have, it just didn't translate. But there's nothing to say, you know, they're still great. They're
and
fine.
T, you used to be a Laker girl. So, I mean, when it comes to technique, though, I mean, they were great. But like when it comes to the technique level at World of Dance.
Yeah. And like, yeah, there's that. And there's also like, I think, was it Derek that said you have to stand out. You have to do competitive stuff. Like this is a competition, you know? So it's good. It's fine, but it's not competitive. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah. And after this round, like past the just yes or no portion of this show, you have to get a score that competes against other people. Like there's other things that factor into this. Like you said, it's about the technique. It's about the performance quality. It's about how well you compete against these people who have been dancing and training for all of their lives almost. So it was at first, like, of course, they showed the story first. So you're kind of pulled into these people as if you've known them forever, and then they get out there and you're like, oh, maybe not, maybe like that's exactly how I felt. I was like, oh, you know, this story is so cute. Like, I love when siblings dance because I don't dance with my siblings. So I was like, this is so nice. And they got out there and I was like, okay, maybe we should try again. But I mean, it takes courage for anybody to go out there and at least try. So I like that. But also, after that, Derek also went out there and actually did something that was more in their realm, which was a TikTok video, I think is what they recorded, or some social media dance. So I think that was cool. T, how did you feel when you saw that little bit? Like, even though they didn't make it, Derek still went out there and talked to them a little bit.
That was cute. And honestly, like, I love Derek, and I feel like that just shows like the type of person he is. I think he just like wants to be supportive. And like you said, I mean, it does take a lot to like come out and put yourself on the line, especially there's no audience here to support you. It's like literally like J-Lo, Neyo, Derek Hough. It's like, you know, and then like so very nice that he did that for them. I think it was cute.
Now, I have a question because I know that all of us have a dance background. And for us, we kind of, I guess, trained in the era that didn't really have like social media dances. We were just kind of in there learning, you know, first, second, third, fourth position, not like all this renegade stuff. But do you think that there's any place for social media dances to fit in a realm like World of Dance? Like, how do you guys think the two will be able to merge, or if at all? Okay.
I mean, listen, I think that social media kind of does a disservice. This might be controversial to say, I don't care. I think it does a disservice to people because it makes people think they can dance when they can't dance. Because you just doing a bunch of elbows and renegade does not prove to me you know how to dance. You're dancing in a triangle. You're gonna go to a party and just know how to move this much in a rectangle that you're used to moving in. That's not dancing moves. Sorry, that's not dancing. Now I'm glad that everybody can get on and everyone can participate. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad all y'all can participate. But it's like what you call it says in the league of their own. You know, some of y'all gonna have to go. So no, it's not like real dancing, and I'm glad they showed us. They really, really, I think, they made a good point by having the Williams family on, because they let us know it's not all about social media followings. They have 2 million people following them on TikTok. They are very entertaining, very charismatic. They have a lot of personality and they were fun to watch. But when it comes to true dancing and being at a certain technical level to be on World of Dance, it's going to be hard to have those two meet. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and I know, Tiege, you've danced for the Lakers, and the way that I've seen you all dance, you have a very great way of merging technique and also just kind of like those dances that we see on social media. Do you think that could, like I said, find a place on a stage like World of Dance, or is that something that you just kind of like keep at halftime and on TikTok?
Yeah, I think Kay, you have a great point. I couldn't have said it better. I think that, there's no longevity to like TikTok dances and like the elbows and stuff. Like, you're not going to book, I mean, maybe, I don't know, crazier things have happened, but you're not going to book a dance tour. You're not going to book a tour with Justin Bieber or whatever, it based on your TikTok ability, because so many and editing goes into that stuff. Like, it's just, if you want to be a professional dancer, if you want to perform on a World of Dance stage, it's great to learn TikToks, but I don't think that's really going to take you to the next level necessarily. But I think that we see that the professional dancers on TikTok do stand out because they're the ones either choreographing the dances or they're just better, or, so I don't know. Yeah. I think there's a place for like professional dancers to have a platform on TikTok, which I think is great because exposure is wonderful, especially, in a competitive world of dance. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I think of things like, the young girl, I think she's like 15 years old, who created the Renegade dance. That's a totally different dance other people be doing who can't dance, right? Like, when she does it, and now she's gotten a lot of work because of that. She's doing the new Scooby-Doo commercial, like she's choreographing other things. Like, she's awesome. Like, I ain't talking about her. I'm talking about the 2 million people that then went and made the Renegade video. Yeah, and you just be like, is that even the same thing? Yeah, so.
No, I definitely agree. And I think
sound like a hater. I'm just trying to be honest.
When you see no, but I think it was an interesting thing to bring up, because we are in a realm where TikTok is thriving and people are dancing, and dance is pulling in generations of people doing, dances, and we love to see it. It's just, it doesn't, like you guys said, it doesn't really translate on a stage like this. And I think it just shows how serious this show is. This isn't just about who can get up there and make people laugh on the stage. It's about the technique. It's about, the effort. It's about the training. And I think it was nice, even though, of course, we didn't want to see that team leave. It was nice to highlight that and just kind of like bring that seriousness to the show, especially when you had this 9-year-old like standing on her head and flipping and putting her leg behind her back. You won't have to do something more than this. Like, I don't know.
That part, Toree, that part. Yeah.
So I was like, maybe, yeah, we can try again. But I think they are a great family to follow on TikTok if you are into those type of things. But while we still have some time, let's definitely segue into our news and special segment, because I'm very excited to hear what Kay is about to bring. So please let us know.
Yes, so special segment is always going to be panel favorites. I'm going to bring up an issue related to something that we talked about in the show, and then we're going to go round robin and talk about the panel's favorites. So what stood out to me was Derek Hough kind of teasing J-Lo about her Super Bowl performance for this year, which was like spectacular. I think that Ryan will probably throw up some shots from that. But it made me think about our special and favorite Super Bowl performances, especially when it came to dancing, when it comes to dancing. So for me, my favorite Super Bowl performance as far as dancing goes, hands down, goes to the year that Beyonce and Bruno Mars did the one together. And they kind of had a dance off. It was like Bruno Mars and his boys against Beyonce and her dancers. And they kind of battled back and forth. And I just loved it. I thought it was so cute. It's one of the Super Bowl performances, there are very few, that I still go back and watch, even though it happened years ago, when I just want to get hyped, because it is so cute to me and I just love it. Toree, can you think about what would you say is your favorite Super Bowl performance when it comes to dancing?
I mean, the one that I always search and go back to is definitely Beyonce's that she did by herself, but also the one that she did with Bruno Mars, I think the year right after that. First it's Beyonce, so yeah. still love it. But there was just so much performance. But like you said, the one that she did with Bruno Mars, there was so much dancing, especially dancing that we haven't necessarily seen from Beyonce, just like dancing to certain music. I mean, Bruno Mars is always super smooth. So just seeing those two side by side was super entertaining. And then Beyonce is always going to give a show. But also seeing Destiny's Child dance again together is just super nice to see all that with the visuals. So that's literally a performance that's probably in my YouTube history.
I love it. It's in my YouTube history. What about you, T?
I honestly really loved Shakira and J-Lo's performance. Was that the most recent one? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was really good.
So dope. And all those dancers were like insane.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah,
and also when Madonna.
Shakira is a killer.
Yeah.
I forgot Shakira.
Yeah, she kills it.
A killer. Yeah.
And J-Lo knows how to perform. That woman knows how to perform. Like that performance top to bottom, you can tell that she put in so much work behind all of that. I mean, she was on pose and everything. And I was just like, girl, this is a lot. Especially just like coming from the movie Hustle. It was just so nice to watch. It was so entertaining. It was
and being a whole
hers
50,
and Beyonce.
Girl.
Right. I think hers and Beyonce's, it was kind of like, girl, football game where? I don't even care about this. I'm at a concert.
Girl, yes.
Okay.
Anyway. Football game who? Yeah. So moving into news, the news of the week is that Derek Hough just celebrated a birthday. So he is 35, which I was surprised. I was like, 35, get it, Mr. Hough. He had a really cute post on his Instagram. There, he just threw it up. You can see it. He wants us to all dance with him for his birthday was his sign. It was so cute. I loved it. I thought that was such a sweet celebration of himself. And then the post before that, he posted the day before his birthday, gonna enjoy my last day of being 34. But I thought it was really cute and so totally Derek Hough and on brand for him to, for his birthday, invite everybody to dance with him. I just loved it. I love him. So
he's great.
We love that. I should have sent him a little video, probably me doing this. See how he reacts. But the first episode of a season always is like a great time for us to predict exactly what we think is going to happen, or even in a show like this, what we wish to see in the rest of the season. So T, please tell us what season 4, what do you think is going to have in store for us?
You know, it's hard to tell right now. I feel like this was such a different format that I'm like a little bit, I don't know when are we going to get to a stage? Also, did they tape this all before the quarantine started, right? Does anybody have?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, honestly, but I'm excited. I think hopefully we'll see a lot of great technique. I also wanted to mention, we didn't talk about Jake yet. Jake and does anybody have that name?
Jake and Chow.
Yes. They were incredible. The flexibility and the tricks, I was really impressed with them too. And I love a good contemporary number. So also that little 9-year-old hip squeak. What? Exactly.
So Teague, with that, I know, like you said, it's pretty hard to just kind of see, what's going to happen, especially with this format. Of the people that competed on this episode, what's one of the acts, or maybe two, that you really want to see go straight to the end?
I mean, I think I want to see a little pipsqueak Savannah make it all the way to the end. And I think she obviously can. The one thing I wanted to bring up, though, about her performance is there's so many tricks and, not as much dancing.
Yes. I thought the same thing.
And the thing is, she's not, she's 9. So it's I'm blown away that anyone, any age can do what she's doing. But also it's I can't fault her because, she's young and, her body, it's different when you're dancing and you're 9, opposed to when you have a little bit more muscle structure, or you can fully move around and dance, and elongate things. But are we concerned about dance? And this has been a topic over the past, I'd say 5 to 10 years. Is are we getting too tricky? ?
Yeah, that's definitely something that, like you said, has been a conversation, I think, for dancers, especially just entering this social media thing. And then when you talk about competition dance and just kind of how are we judging based off of just, how many tricks? how many times somebody can put their leg behind their head and do something that doesn't look normal? Or are we really focusing on the technique, the how the steps are connecting to one another, if they're making it look like it's easy, if they're emotionally connected? Like, when do we kind of figure out which one outweighs the other? And like you said, Teague, I think I'm still shook by the amount of tricks and things that 9-year-old is able to do, because I know at 9, even with all the training my mother, put me in, I still couldn't do that. But like you said, I think there's a time where it becomes very, very show and telly, if that makes sense. Like, very, look what I can do, instead of I'm dancing. And I think that's one thing, especially because she is 9. And I think at 9, we only have like 2 emotions, like happy and sad. So if the song is sad, you're going to get that face. And if it's a happy song, you're going to get that face. There's no, like, you don't really know what the lyrics mean. I mean, there's still songs that I'm still trying to figure out what the lyrics mean. And so I think, Kate, especially chime in, do you think that's going to play a part in this competition? Because when you're doing dances, there has to be some type of emotional connection, especially in a series like this. Do you think that's going to be something that hinders her in the competition?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wrote it down right when you said an emotional connection is going to be the key. That's the thing that I don't want to say gives us goosies, because you know how J-Lo is about goosies, but that's the thing that makes us get a lump in our throat, that chokes us up, when a dancer is able to dance and emotionally connect with the audience, or just emotionally connect with the material that they're interpreting. So I think that's why you need to do a little more living to be able to get that piece out. But as far as, like you said, with technicality and stuff, she's amazing. I'm really excited for Bailey and Keita. I want to see what more they can do. I want to see, I don't know if you guys remember a couple of seasons ago, Ken and Mari, they did contemporary. I want to see more Ken and Mari in this hip hop routine. I don't care about seeing people dance together, side by side isolations. Like, I want to see you two interact as hip hop dance partners. I think that could take it on put it on a whole nother level, and that's going to create that emotional connectivity that we need to see. Once they connect in that partnership and they're dancing together and not just with each other, that's when they're going to take off. So I'm rooting for them as well. Bailey and Keita.
Yeah, and I think there's, like, I mean, when Lead Twins were on there, especially because they're brothers, I mean, they're twins, so they've grown up their entire lives, so that connection is there. But I think that shows the difference between, like, oh, just 2 people dancing together in a duet versus something that can actually win. And I definitely think that as we go through these qualification rounds, that's definitely going to set some people apart. Just kind of seeing, okay, you guys can both hit 5 and 6 at the same time, but what more, Because I mean, me and Kay can rehearse for 2 weeks and hit 5 and 6 together, but that doesn't mean we can win World of Dance. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. But I think for the most part, I'm rooting for the ones that we just talked about. Little Pip, Sweet, Savannah, anybody does contemporary in the salsa cup as well. I think next episode we're going to see a lot of talent. I think we just kind of dipped our toe in the talent in this episode, because the preview, I was like, wait a minute. Why we didn't start with that? But
what do you guys think about Groovement? We haven't talked about Groovement, the little, like the dance team of little kids that were doing hip hop.
Yes. Now, this is the thing with these first couple of episodes. They really pull you in with those stories. And I was in it, and there was another one of those performances that I was like, they build you up with the story, and then you're like, okay. But that's just me. How did you guys feel about the performance?
I thought technically, like, it was on point, they were synced up really well. Their choreo was, pretty good. I felt like there was a piece that was missing, and it was personality, humor, charisma. Like, where was the it factor in it? I felt like the Williams fam had all of it, right? They had humor in it. They were all really charismatic. They were fun. And I felt like Groovement didn't have any of that, although it was good, but it was just like, it wasn't fun to watch. And with kids, I was like, are these kids having any fun doing this? Yeah, so I felt like that was the main part that was missing in theirs. And hopefully, they got a call back. So hopefully when they come back, they can show us a little bit of that.
Teague, how do you feel like they're going to come with this comeback?
Okay, so here's my thing about this performance. I feel like it's a really good example of a group that could have been helped a lot with having a live audience because they're kids, they're adorable. They got the performance, like it's clean. It's like, it is what it is. It's a kid group doing hip hop that is great. Like they're not bad by any means. I think that maybe they were a little nervous because kids get nervous, and especially like you walk in, you don't know that J-Lo is going to be sitting there, and then she's there, and I think that they could have been helped a lot by having an audience element, or maybe being better prepared for like knowing what was coming. But again, it's like it's the world of dance, so you gotta kind of be ready for anything. But I think that they could have probably. I think that they were great, but I think. I don't know. They were just missing that like different thing, because we've seen so many great kid hip hop numbers. You know, like you almost have to give us something totally new or pick it up. I don't know. But I think they were great. You know, I don't know.
I agree. I think after 4 seasons, or after 3 seasons and going into the 4th, you definitely have to bring something that we haven't seen, which is hard because we watched 3 seasons of people dancing. So I think, like you said, on top of the fact that, like I said, some kids have never seen a celebrity in their lives. So when you throw them in front of 3, they do freeze up. And I don't know if that's what happened there, but I could definitely see how they think they're just going in front of these random adults, and they come and they're in front of 3 mega stars. That can, like you said, that can just add a lot of it, especially when they just kind of prepared a routine to get past producers. Maybe if they knew, I don't know, but at the same time, it is that kind of like stay ready so you don't have to get ready thing. But I think maybe now that they kind of know what it is, their callback will be a little bit different. We don't know. We'll have to see on the next episode. You guys watching will have to come back and hear us talking about it. But before we leave off, please, Tiege and Kate, please tell us where everybody can find you. Tiege, where can they find you on the social media?
On the social media, you can find me at TiegDP, and I just started a podcast actually that I wanted to plug. But
plug.
It's called Well Informed Girlfriends. It's on like all of the podcasts. I'm still learning. It's like maybe not great yet, but we'll see. So any and all feedback would be great if you happen to listen.
Yes, I'm about to tune in. But Kay, where can they find you while I go follow her podcast?
I love it. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at HostK. That's HOSTKAY. And I am currently covering Defending Jacob on Apple Plus with Chris Evans, which is a dope show, and you should be watching it. And also every Monday, I do the Black Hollywood Reporting, where we go behind creatives and the business of Hollywood from the African-American point of view. So you should check that out as well.
Wow, we definitely will. I am on Instagram at Toxic Model, or on Twitter at Toree with 2 E's. Definitely click around if you have something that you love watching. AfterBuzz has definitely covered it. So click around the YouTube or even on our website. Find something that tickles your fancy, that keeps you entertained. You'll probably see one of our faces, so definitely stay around. Please leave comments, tweet us, DM us. We're happy to talk about the show or any of your other favorite things that you're watching during these times. Like I said, read some of our articles we've all written. We really want you to read it. But until we see you guys next week, we enjoy you guys being here, and we will buzz you later. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.